Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload is going to be a video about the potential for pretty significant storms that will be coming with a kind of the bringing of a pattern change. It will be pretty significant. There will be some large systems along with some pretty cold air that will be coming in. It seems now that maybe the first 10 days of December will be on the warmer side, or at least more moderate. Though later on we get into December, it seems the more and more cold air we're gonna come into. So yeah, it's becoming really exciting. The chances for a white Christmas have spiked tremendously through the last couple of days for just many locations, not even just the east or the north, just along general, where if you're questioning if you're gonna see one, you have a pretty good chance of that. So we'll be talking all about that in today's video. Consider subscribing, consider liking this video. It really means a lot to me, and I really enjoy watching you guys comment, leaving nice comments, all throughout. Really, thank you. I always love watching or seeing your comments. So for this video, just comment down below how much inches you're hoping in your location, wherever you live, if you see snow, obviously. So let's just jump right into this. Right now we're looking at the European model, and I want to just show you the cold that it's showing. You remember yesterday was the more moderate of the models. It wasn't showing the too extreme cold like the GFS was. The GFS now isn't really showing the polar vortex like I said yesterday in yesterday's video, but it's definitely still cold air, and Arctic invasion is still on its way, but maybe not just the polar vortex. They could save that for later parts of the winter, as it seems that it will come this winter. It seems pretty likely, but notice that it brings some chillier air into the northeast this coming Thursday, Wednesday, late week. This doesn't stick around for a while as a ridge builds, and this is what I mean, that warm air may actually stay for several days up until the 7th, 8th, the weekend. However, very short-lived. Notice that we have a resurgence of cold air across the northern plains. This would actually possibly bring a snowstorm, which the European and the GFS now are starting to more and more agree on. And again, we're still very far out. This would be occurring next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it's only Tuesday of the week prior, so we still have a lot of figuring. But look what the European does, brings a pretty good area of cold air. Now the thing is that it doesn't bring it down into the U.S. as far as the cold weather lovers would like. It kind of skims it, and then we see more cold air behind that, so it doesn't seem like a warm pattern will really take hold. Maybe a few hours or a few few little bursts of warm air come through, but this could definitely yesterday's model run was completely different. It wasn't showing this at all. Now if we were to look at let's go to 12Z Monday, you could see that it was way more, it was different shape. It was just way more narrow, even more quick. It was same quickness, very quick, and it was replaced by warmer air. However, now the European, you can see what it did with the midnight model run. It also introduced that cold air and introduced it in a more classic fashion. Instead of being so narrow and quick, it introduced it in a rather quick fashion as well, but it's more broad and allows for cold air to filter in. This cold air would be very cold. It's just it wouldn't have extended over a great period or a great area of real estate. If we look at the GFS model run, again, I know this video is about the snowstorms, but I apologize. I will be going over that in just a minute. So if you want to skip forward, you can go ahead, definitely. But if you want to, watch about the cold air and what's to come, I would advise staying. And again, let's look at this 144, 150 hours out. This is around that time frame where we could be seeing that snowstorm. And again, prior to that, a cold wave across the east, a little bit of warm air in the Midwest, and then we start getting that cold air around the same time next week that we are in right now. You could see the cold air definitely gets in. It's kind of this first initial wave, and then it just intensifies immensely. So this could definitely be some very cold air, and the GFS is still showing the coldest solution out of the the European, Canadian, and models that we look at. And notice that again, it tries bringing a little bit of warm air, kind of like what the other models do, but I mean it really just shuts it out, and you can see even more cold air is coming in. And then we start seeing a ridge building across the central U.S. and eastern U.S., but that seems to be replaced by a troughing pattern yet again. So So if we look at the GEFS anomalies, let's look at those quickly, and let's just look at the temperature anomalies. This is basically a bunch of GFS models, like models combined into one graphic, and they give us a pretty good sight of what the average models are thinking. Notice that right now they're showing kind of a on and off pattern, a little bit of warmth, a little bit of chill, but then notice a little bit of chill across the northeast and northern U.S. Pretty warm though across the southern plains and the Midwest, getting into the northern U.S. But I mean, again, it gets just shut out completely by this cold air, and we have some pretty nice anomalies here. Now let's look at the snowstorm aspect of this. Let's first go back to the GFS, and let's go. I mean, you can see the GFS just goes crazy about this cold air, just ridiculous cold air. But we'll just have to wait and see and take this one by one. Let's talk about the snowstorms. Right now, we had a storm across the northeast that seems to pass. A little bit of lake effect may get kicked up by some strong strong winds that will bring in this Arctic air. You know, it won't be a polar vortex, but it definitely will be chilly across the northeast. Across this Thursday time frame, we're into Wednesday, kind of following that snowstorm. So there's a lot of snow cover across the northeast, so it may be actually even colder than what the models are showing right now. So yeah, we're looking at some chilly temperatures for the northeast. Let's look at the 2-meter temperature anomalies. You can see there's quite a bit of blue colors. Again, not a polar vortex, but it's definitely there, and I think it's underestimated by the models because the amount of snow they got is significant. So we look at another little lobe of chilly air coming in for the weekend across the northeast. Doesn't really do much across the Midwest or the northern plains. Kind of misses this area, if you will. This area kind of stays in the warmer section of the weather, while this area gets cooled off, maintains with the cold. But then again, we start seeing that pattern shift, and what I guess commences that pattern is really the snowstorm. The system at this point doesn't look too awfully powerful, but again, it's far out. Usually models, you know, they do it either way. They usually underestimate a storm or they overestimate it. Like, they either make a giant beast or they underestimate the heck out of a storm, and it could form, you know, way bigger than it actually is forecasted to a couple days before. And notice this storm right here. There would be a little bit of moisture to the north, actually quite a bit, especially regarding the fact that this is very cold air, so it's usually dry. Notice that the Gulf of Mexico, you know, brings a little bit of moisture in, not too much, but notice a little bit of snow does form, and that's on the head of this big troughing, which could definitely bring in some very chilly temperatures. You can see this storm just goes straight up. It doesn't even go to the north and east. At one point, it's literally traveling vertically up to the north at a you know, a vertical axis, so a vertical line. And then look at just those millibars right there. They're just so tightly packed. Those lines of pressure right there, of different pressure readings. 498, that's some cold air, whatever time of the year it is. It's obviously the winter. You know, that's cold air. Even if it's January and we see in the 400s, that is some cold air. And then we see another potential system. You can see we get a little puff of Pacific air with this, but then the cold air just comes right behind it, allowing for a little bit more snow for these locations and a possible another system. This could be more of a nor'easter type system. Then we see this is now 2 weeks in advance, so very far ahead. However, again, notice we see a pretty big storm as well, forming some rain, and then even more snow, followed by even more cold air. So an overall very active, very snowy, very cold, a joyful pattern for those that like the snow. And notice that the snowfall amounts are pretty significant. I apologize about the little weird graphics. That's kind of what the models do if it's really far out. But notice generous amounts for Southwest Canada, pretty good amounts for the Western U.S. I wouldn't say it's huge, or, you know, I would say it's mainly reserved for the upper elevations, the mountainous area. So ski resorts, if you're located, you know, several thousand feet above sea level, yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be definitely in session and in season, as there will be plenty of moisture coming in. It's not really the question of the moisture, it's more of whether or not it will be cold enough. Notice the Northeast and the Midwest also get pretty snowy, and again, some of this may be underestimated, as they're underestimating some of the power of the snowstorms. The Canadian, you can see, also puts in just widespread snow, maybe not too awfully heavy in a certain location, but very widespread. You could see if this were to maintain itself through Christmas time, time. Many locations would be seeing a white Christmas. Maybe not a white snowstorm or a white Christmas that would, have a foot of snow on the ground, but all it takes is an inch and you have a white Christmas officially. Let's look at the Canadian. Also brings in quite a bit of cold air. Again, this one actually has a little system on Thursday and Friday this upcoming weekend across the Northeast. Doesn't look too strong. Doesn't seem to be intensified by the ocean, but brings in a little puff of Pacific air behind it. And this big storm, you can see the Canadian also has basically at the same time frame where the GFS does. It doesn't have it, really have it at a strength level of that would be too impressive, but the thing is that there would be a lot of precip with this. Maybe just the cold air wouldn't be able to intrude or impede on this moisture quick enough. But then we see lake effect, more showery conditions, kind of like these clippers, and we could be looking at just generally cold air. And you can see that if we were to look at the anomalies, the Canadian isn't awfully too cold across the central U.S., but it definitely has it locked up in the north, and it brings it down to the south at certain times, which you can see this one starts moving down to the south after the next week. So overall, just plenty of cold air, plenty of systems for snow. If you look at the 6 to 10 day outlook, remember yesterday I was showing you this, they were showing warm conditions. Yeah, they quickly adjusted to that. They knew they were wrong, and again, I caught that pretty early. I'm actually proud of myself, as I remember a couple days ago, even a couple more days ago, I was talking about how I am lost. Literally, the models were signaling such mixed signals that it was very confusing, and you could see the Climate Prediction Center adjusted to that as well. Cold air across the northern U.S., some very confident below average conditions. A little bit above for the east coast and the west coast, that is fine. And then 8 to 14, you can see the confidence is low, but they're definitely introducing that cold air, which I think is going to obviously be there, and it's going to stay through most of December. So this could be a winter that a historic winter is coming, and that's what I predicted in a couple of my videos. And most of my videos I've been reiterating that that theme, that a historic winter is coming, and I still stand by that strongly. So thank you guys so much for watching. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing to the channel, and I will catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.